everybody goes online and sees the comedy between the ER providers communicating with the hospitalist and how they go back and forth. At our center, we actually have case managers in ER that review all ED requests for admission to advise the hospitalist on the appropriate status to put the patient in inpatient or observation. Every hospital in the country does this daily. The case managers are great, but what we found was that it was a challenge because ER doctors were sending an order across an Epic. The case manager was sending a page out to me. All three parties weren't communicating other than hoping like hell the other one got the message. Doesn't work real well. And it creates delay, it creates untrust, it creates a lot of challenges with utilizing those call schedules. And then actually having a multi-tier call program where we actually have 3 hospitalists admitting throughout the day, and one of them carried the pager and had the administrative opportunity to page the other 2 every time they got a page. So it was duck, duck, goose all day long. That beeper in the emergency room can become a little bit of a hot potato around 5 p.m. as in most other centers. So what Spok has done some really cool things with giving us visibility around the communication process, not only for the hospitalist to spread out the admission process, but also for the case manager to know that I've accepted the admission within that Spok Go message. And then the ER provider can also be included in that message and say, hey, Dr. Snyder's busy, he picked this up, and then I can text him back real quick within that whole same message and say, hey, I'll call you in 10 minutes, I'm in with a patient. At least the ER provider knows I've touched it. I'm aware of it. I'll get back to them as quickly as I can. And then on the other hand, the ER doc can say, hey, man, I'm getting ready to go off shift. Do you mind if you call me sooner? Or at least can you come by Station X to talk to me about it if you have a minute? So again, it just builds that team approach, that team understanding of hey, we're all busy. We're in this world. When you don't have good communication, it clearly leads folks to get angry, frustrated with delays in care, delays in communication, delays in response time. So this is one project that actually went live a few weeks ago, and we've seen some outstanding results. Improved satisfaction both on the ER and the hospital side. And it also gives the case manager that visibility around the plan of care so they can ensure that their processes are installed. And I think this is one of these things where it's an old school process and we're introducing new technology into it. So not perfect yet, but we are absolutely seeing improved satisfaction by the providers. This is kind of an example if you see our on-call schedule. So we actually took our call schedule, the hospitals did, and we built it into the system. The call schedule is pretty easy to manage within Spok. So it simulates what our sign-up schedule is, and we use another technology to actually do our call schedule. So our administrative staff actually builds this out a month at a time, and once it's in there, they can make modifications real quickly through the online console. Versus the app on the phone. As you can see on the right, this was an actual interaction last week with one of our ED docs. Pleural fusion dyspnea, clinical info was put in by the case manager, status recommended is there, and then the ED provider, who it was and what his callback number is. You can see my partner there picked it up and said, hey, I'll take this. And then it also shows the fact that the ED provider said, great, here's my number, take this. Radiology called, feedback from the ER doc. In the meantime, he got a response on a diagnostic study, and again, there was a change in the patient's status. So they were able to update. Again, no one had to leave their seat, really. They could continue on their current work. It's a quick, visible tool, and all 3 parties are satisfied with response time. In the old days, we'd have never known about this radiology called, or there was more urgency to see the patient, et cetera. So it's a big deal when you have that visibility around what people are thinking, and the phone gives us the liberty to do this on the fly when we're in a patient's room or out at the nursing station, because hospitals typically aren't sitting in one place, neither are ER docs, neither are the case managers.